You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Break up the Astros, baby. They're coming for your dates. It is the Locked On Astros Postcast here live on YouTube. Thank you for joining me tonight as the Astros win, baby. Just win, baby. That is the Astros theme so far over the last basically week of baseball games. They are red hot, piping hot. What do you know? You start playing a team you're familiar with, a team that you've dominated over the past few years, and it can get you right in a hurry. And tonight, another great night. Really, after last night, what happened, you could not have written a script for a better night for the Astros than what they had tonight. We're going to get through all of it. We're also going to share my thoughts on the Ronel Blanco situation at the end of the show. Of course, after last night, we talked a lot about it, but what we know now that he has been suspended. So again, a lot to get to here during this 30 minutes of post-cast reaction. This episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit only. Available to U.S. customers. So the Astros now 18-25. Still a long way to go. But they are chipping away at all the bad. And as they chip away from all the bad, and I would interested to hear from all of you in the comments and everything, as they chip away at it each day, are you finding yourself more optimistic that they can be, I think it's the fourth team since 1912 or whatever, to start the season 15-25 or whatever they were, to make the postseason this year? Are you starting to feel it? Every night I mention it, when they are doing what they're doing, which is going out there and starting to win some baseball games, and they're doing this, they're doing it inside of an American League West that is not a good division. It's just as simple as that. We all know that. The division is, for lack of a better term, it's doo-doo. It is. Rangers currently, as we are doing this show live, they're beating the Guardians, so they'll slide a game back above 500. I believe the Mariners already won today. They did. They beat the Royals 4-2. So the Astros will hold where they're at. They'll hold that, 6 games back in the division in the American League West. That's fine. Honestly, again, it feels like a miracle that you're only 6 games back, considering how bad this baseball team has been. And look, a week ago, I sat here and we did the show. And, I think it's when you get to the reaction of the internet and, the talk of the internet, whatever it might be, like, sure, there's going to be episodes that I do of this show where we say they stink, they're never going to make it. I said it. I still will hold my belief that they won't make the postseason. I want to be wrong. You guys that watch me or have listened to me forever know that I want to be wrong. I really, really hope that that's the dumbest thing I've ever said, that they won't make the playoffs. The postseason. I'm a baseball guy. I know better than that. It's not the playoffs. It's the postseason. Come on. It's October. We've all been there. Live it. But like a week ago, they're in New York and they're getting smacked around in the first couple of games, and it felt like it was time to acknowledge the cold hard truth that they're not any good. Now, look, schedule does benefit you at times. You have to find the spots where, you have opponents that you can beat. They played a Detroit team over the weekend that, in all honesty, they could have. They're more talented than they could have swept. But their starting pitcher in the game on Saturday, Christian Javier, is, of course, coming back from being out with a neck, and it was terrible. And we all know what happened there. So you take 2 out of 3, though. You win a series. You know what they also did today? They won another series. They secured a series win. They've taken 3 of the first 3. 1 more tomorrow. Chance to sweep this team. And even though Oakland's been pesky and a team that has, really exceeded any level of thought. I think like everybody else, I expected that Oakland team, they still very well could go and only win like 58 games. Didn't expect them to be 19-26 at this point of the season, though. They were hovering around 500 there coming in this month of May. Tomorrow, by the way, they're going to go back to Javier. We'll see what he looks like. It better be better than that last start. He's going to go up against Joey Estes tomorrow. The Astros should win that baseball game. It's as simple as that. And look, they didn't play some unbelievable world beater baseball game tonight. They didn't. We'll talk about Framber in just a few moments because he was exceptional. But they scratched out what they needed. They got a gift early on with an error. They got a sacrifice fly. They got 2 easy runs there. Tag on another one. That's all they needed. You can do that against teams that you're better than. And then when you also go out and do what you need to do on the mound. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Again, for a game that last night got off the rails thanks to your starting pitcher, being ejected after 3 innings with the foreign substance or the sticky stuff. It wasn't a foreign substance. It was rosin, whatever. But to turn around and do this tonight was everything they needed and more. And I do find myself, of course, I've always wanted to believe, like I know all of you do. It's not fun when you don't believe. It's not fun when you don't have hope. It's not fun when you're, thinking, okay, well, they're just going to figure this out or that out or whatever. They are slowly chipping away at me. They're making me think, okay, maybe it's possible. Maybe they'll find their way back close to that 500 mark. They're sitting right now, like I said, at 18-25 now on the season. They've got the Brewers coming to town this weekend, which at last check, I think the Brewers are still in first place. They are still in first place in the Central. They're going to be tough this weekend. We'll see how that one goes. But if they play this kind of baseball like they've been playing, I feel all right about it. But then you look at that. After that, they got a 6-game stretch with a day off. What do you know? Next Thursday. They got a 6-game stretch where they're going to play 3 against the Angels at home, which I don't know if you've seen the Angels lineups that they've been putting out. Oh, good heavens. Those things are bad. Those things are very bad. I feel bad for Angels fans, the 8 of them that exist. And I know one of them very well. But then they play Oakland again next weekend in Oakland. Just simply put, this is a time to feast. They kind of weathered the storm early in the month. They probably should have had 2 out of 3 against Seattle. But overall, they've won some series, which they've done again here tonight. They've set themselves up to continue to have this run. And then you get into that month of June. And by the way, the month of June, if they're going to do this, it's going to happen in June. The month of June is going to be a cakewalk overall. No game is cakewalk because it's Major League Baseball. But that's where they got to get close to this 500 mark. And then in that month of June, when they play teams, like the Cardinals for 3, the Angels, the Giants, the Tigers, the White Sox. They do have the Orioles, the Rockies, the Mets. If they're going to completely chip away at me and get me all the way back into believing that, yes, this will end up being a postseason team in 2024, then that getting close to that 500 mark before the end of this month and then doing that next month is where it's going to be. I do think it's doable. I've always said that. I do think it's still doable. It's not impossible. It never was impossible. We can make fun of the things that they say at times. I'm not going to go to the back of the baseball card thing, but Dana Brown's impression, we're too good. And last week he, looked really bad for saying, "Oh, we're not going to be sellers. This team's too good." Didn't look like it. Right now, a week later, they look like they could be that good. They look like, okay, they're getting their health situation right. And when they get that health situation right, suddenly they'll be in a spot where, they're going to they're going to start playing like they expected themselves to. The most important thing that they're accomplishing at this moment is that they're not digging their hole any deeper. Because if they continue to dig that hole deeper, or they, continue to hover between 10 and 12 games under 500, which they're not out of the woods. Again, 18 and 25, to couple losses in a row, you're right back hovering in that range. But they do need to extend this winning streak a little bit more. Honestly, they do need to win tomorrow. We'll talk about that as well. Is tomorrow a must win? Every game's a must win when you're this bad. But they're a better baseball team today than they were a week ago, than they were 2 weeks ago. And I guess you can put it in the comments. One word to describe your emotions towards the Astros right now. I would say cautious for me. That's my one word. What's your one word? Again, put them in the comments. I'll read some of those here as we move along. Let's get to Framber Valdez. Let's give him his love because he was awesome again tonight for the Astros after this brief message. But first, passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Locked On Astros Postcast with you live on YouTube, the Locked On Sports Houston page. If you're new tonight joining us, please hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this later and you're new, please hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on podcast, why don't you head over to YouTube and search for Locked On Sports Houston and hit the subscribe button. You can find this show anywhere that you get your podcast. Search for Locked On Astros. You will get this show and the Locked On Astros show. Brett and Eric doing that show, me here with this show, all the Astros content you want in any given day. Also, if you're looking for a little Texans content, the schedule was released earlier tonight. The Locked On Texans podcast will have you for that. We will do postcast for the Texans games this season. Got a lot of prime time, baby. 5 real primetime games, 6 nationally televised games, including Christmas Day. Yes, this channel will be working Christmas Day for the Texans when they are playing the Baltimore Ravens on Netflix. What a time to be alive, baby. Where were you on Christmas Day, Wednesday? I was sitting on the couch watching Netflix and the Texans. You know what it's better than? It's better than having to watch the Astros on the Roku channel in a few days, whatever the heck that is. I don't know what the Roku channel is. I don't have a Roku. I don't know where you find the Roku channel. I'm going to assume it's on my Fire Stick. I sound really old when I say all this, I know, of course. But the Astros, I think it's the game. I don't remember which game it is coming up. They were optioned to the Sunday because for some reason baseball decided, you know what? Let's get off of Peacock and let's go to the Roku channel. Dumbs. What are they doing? Like, Rob Manfred, what are you doing? But they do these early morning Sunday games, like a 12 o'clock game or 11 a.m. game, whatever. I kind of like that. I also love the fact that tonight's game took 2 hours and 4 minutes because I'm not going to lie to you. As soon as this show is done, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. And you know who did that for me tonight? Was Framber Valdez. Give Framber his love, baby. The man was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I am seeing all your comments there. Again, if you would like to give us your one word to describe your emotions right now to the Astros, send them in. I see stoked. I see non-existent. I see optimistic. Cautiously optimistic is not one word. Steadfast, espada, I don't know what that is. And not suicidal is not one word. That's 2 words you just mashed together. Stop cheating. You can only use one word. Thank you for the comments. Again, you can drop in that one, and I'll go through some of them in just a bit. But Framber has stepped up like the staff ace that he absolutely is. They need him to be that. He and JV both now in each of their last starts have given this club everything that they need and more. And, I mean, you could not have asked for a better night for him to go out and have his stuff. I mean, look, he had no hit type of stuff tonight, did Framber Valdez. I mean, you saw it. I mean, the one hit he gave up there until the end was the bleeding little off the mound play from JD Davis, and that was it until the hard hit ball towards Altuve, which he misplayed on top of it was hard hit, and it got through, and it was a hit. Good on Framber. The seventh inning there got a little interesting. Now, look, we can just flat out say it here because we have no affiliation to Major League Baseball or their umpires or any of it. This umpiring crew, Laz Diaz's umpiring crew, including him, they're awful. All of them. The young guy they had over there on first last night who honestly, I thought there's been, if you go just search his name, not just for the Astro stuff, he is making a fool of himself in games constantly. He does not seem like he's qualified to be a Major League umpire at this point. They probably rushed him a little bit too quickly. But this is a bad umpiring crew. They're a really bad umpiring crew. The balk call and Framber immediately, but you saw what it was, and you knew it with Framber tonight. First of all, when your stuff is going well, you're going to always feel the confidence in it. But he was getting the ball. He was bouncing around. He was smiling out there on the mound. You could just see the confidence exuded out of Framber tonight. And that's who they need every time out. It's not going to be that every time out because, because you're going to have nights where you just can't spot pitches or whatever. But, man, he was spotting everything. The sinker was working. And, I think one of the things for Framber that is always so important is, and we've talked about it here on this show before too, you can't overthrow at times. Like, he always feels like he tries sometimes to throw too hard, and it makes him less effective. Now, he's tossing the new in vogue pitch for the Astros this year. He's tossing a 90 mile an hour slide or a changeup out there, not a slider, 90 mile an hour changeup out there, which is interesting. But when he doesn't try to throw 96, 97, 98 with his fastball, he's got better control of it. He's throwing 94, 95 tonight. And it's beyond good enough to get guys to swing and miss. It's beyond good enough to get guys to pound it into the ground and get the quick ground ball outs that he has. But again, this is what your ace of your staff does. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's made me breathe a little bit of sigh of relief that he's come back and his stuff has looked good and he's thrown hard. Like, I would not be feeling getting towards optimism with the Astros if Framber had come back or not come back or come back and look terrible or got hurt again, whatever it might have been. They have to have him more than any pitcher on the staff. Verlander can still do it, but Framber's the better pitcher. Framber has the better stuff. Framber has the ability to get deeper into baseball games than Justin Verlander consistently. JV's a 6-inning guy now. And then he'll get you a 7 occasionally. But Framber can blow it by guys to where he can get quick outs. The ground balls can be quick outs. And on nights where he is controlling it inside of the zone, he's going to get those outs quickly. And he's just going to mow through it efficiently. And he's going to get, he would have gotten into the 8th tonight, probably. They probably would have run him back out there for the 8th if Laz Diaz doesn't, vomit all over himself out there and make himself the show. But again, that's what happens sometimes in Major League Baseball. By the way, again, I asked for your one word to describe your emotions for the Astros right now. The other ones that I see, roller coaster, I guess, yeah. Aroused, okay, that's interesting. Ecstatic from another one, and I thought I saw one other one that I wanted to see. Well, whatever. Keep sending them. I'll get you to a couple of those before we get out of here in just a few minutes. But we got a little bit more to get into. I do want to take a brief minute to talk about a couple things. Number one, Ronel Blanco. Number two, tomorrow must win, maybe. And then there was a trade today. So a couple things to get to real quick before we get out of here in a few moments for the Astros postcast as we're wrapping up a win tonight over the Oakland Athletics. Your Astros are red hot. They're not the hottest team in baseball. That's the Colorado Rockies. I think they've won like 8 in a row. But you know what? They're right there. Before you know it, they're going to be on a 9-10 game winning streak, just like Colorado's basically on at this point. And, life will be good once again. Simple as that for the Houston Astros. But back into that discussion here in just 1 second. First, though, I need to tell you about what you need to be doing when you're watching games. Getting in with PrizePicks. What are you waiting on? PrizePicks, baby. PrizePicks, PrizePicks, PrizePicks. Remember that. Go download the app. You got your phone. I got my phone right here. See? My phone right there. And we're going to go to my phone. And I'm going to show you right now. Well, this is where my wife would look at me and scream at me because I'm one of these people that doesn't keep my apps in a folder, and I've got a billion apps, and I don't remember where I keep it. I usually just type it in. But you know what? For the sake of brevity, I've got PrizePicks on my phone because I play PrizePicks. I was on some Astros players tonight that, unfortunately, look, they didn't work out. I thought they'd get more on some things. Not a lot of offense going on tonight. But you could get on it with PrizePicks right now. If you've never played, I've got something for every fan. From baseball to basketball to League of Legends and everything in between. You could pick, he's not out there anymore. How about you could pick Jokic? You could pick Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, all the same entry. Why not? It's because that's what PrizePicks does for you. Simple as that. It's really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entries in less than 60 seconds. If you have not tried it, give it a shot today. Download the app and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, that's code LOCKEDONMLB when you use the PrizePicks apps for a first deposit match up to $100. All right, the Locked On Astros postcast rolling along here on a Wednesday night. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to the YouTube page, please hit the subscribe button. You can find this show anywhere that you get your podcast. Search for Locked On Astros. You'll get this in the Locked On Astros show as well. And again, if you're listening to us in other places, just head over to Locked On Sports Houston YouTube page and hit the subscribe button, where again we'll do Texans postcast, Rockets postcast, Cougs postcast, and of course, hopefully, through the month of October, Astros postcast as well. Simple as that. That'd be fantastic if they're able to pull that off for us. Tomorrow, if you've listened to me for a long time, you know I'm a sucker for it. I just love it. I love is this a must-win game? Because then it gets the people that are, the mathematical people all pissed off. It gets the people that believe in it all riled up and then pissed off at those people. I'm just talking about from the standpoint of where the team is at. The mentality standpoint. And this baseball team's been building back in the right direction. They're playing a lot better. They look better. The feel around them is suddenly better. And I think that winning the baseball game tomorrow only would boost that even higher. They have not had a real sweep in a series this season. Now, you would sit here and tell me that, yes, they absolutely do have a sweep because they went to Mexico City and they played the Colorado Rockies, where they swept them in a 2-game weekend series. Well, that's nice and all, but that's not a real sweep. It's a fake sweep. It's a 2-game series. So you can get a 4-game sweep tomorrow. Be kind of big. Just saying. Would be kind of big. So I'm going to go ahead and be a sucker for the conversation. And I'm going to tell you right now, tomorrow, must win. Absolutely must win. And yes, I've got the comments up right now on the YouTube page. Ryan, you're right. Also, big win for the Blues today. I had one heck of a sports day today. I got the Astros win in the evening. I've got Chelsea and Cole Palmer going out there in the middle of the day today doing their thing. Finishing up the Premier League season on a high note. One more win to get this weekend. I am rolling as a sports fan. I hope that you guys are as happy as a sports fan right now as I am in the moment. I got the Texans scheduled today. The Rockets got the 3rd pick in the draft the other day. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Well, somebody, but right now, let me live my life. I feel good about things. But tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Must win for the Astros. Get the sweep. Why not? Got the pitching matchup. You still think in your favor, even though Javier didn't look good in his last one. Feel good about it. I did want to give my quick thoughts on the Ronel Blanco situation on the suspension. We all knew last night the suspension was coming. Now, look, I'm going to take everybody at their word, and I'm going to take Blanco at his word on it. And we've seen it. We went over it last night, him being a big-time sweater. Throws the rosin, and there was, video of it. You could pop it back up. The rosin being patted on his arm and everything. And if you've ever used rosin before and you do sweat, it runs. It does get sticky. And, it is what it is. If he's lying, then, he's lying. But he decided today that he's not going to appeal the suspension, and probably for good reason. I think it's a bad look for Major League Baseball, which, what do you know, Major League Baseball and a bad look on something. I wasn't completely aware until I heard Dana Brown talking about it this afternoon that Major League Baseball doesn't investigate the gloves when they have an instance like this. They just go off the umpire's word. Are you kidding me? How does that glove not make it into the hands of a Major League Baseball official into the league to investigate it? Because what happens if you suspend the player and then they go and they check this thing out and they realize, you know what, that's technically technically I get it. It's on his opposite hand, but if it's just the rosin that's sweat down his thing, you're going to owe the guy some money back for suspending him for 10 games. But he takes it because it's probably harder to fight it and then it not get not win an appeal on it, or won't be able to get it reduced. So just go ahead and take the 10 games. The Astros are in this stretch where they're running a 6-man. He's going to miss one start and come back. A lot of eyeballs will be on him in that next start to see how he looks, to see if he suddenly looks dramatically worse. The instant reaction is going to be, oh God, he was cheating the whole time. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what that happens. The other thing is today the Astros did make a move. They shipped off Corey Julks to the White Sox for a minor league pitcher who hasn't made it out of the complex league yet. It's a trade of no consequence. Corey Julks didn't have a place here anymore. He was okay, but he's a player that, he's a fit for the White Sox, a team that's not good that can see if they can strike lightning in a bottle, and honestly, they'll do that, and then they'll say, hey, we can trade Corey Julks, is what it is. I'm glad he's going to get an opportunity. White Sox are Astros Midwest, I guess. They got Maldonado. They got Corey Lee, who's basically going to supplant Maldonado. Maldonado's probably going to find his way back here at some point during the season. I'm sure it's going to make a lot of you very happy. No, he won't, because they got Caratini. Which, by the way, can we get Yainer Diaz to not be so terrible at the plate? Like, could he hit the ball over the fence occasionally and stop swinging at everything outside of the zone and then maybe hit a ball hard off the ground, please, Yainer Diaz? I don't want to be like, he hasn't been just god awful, but he hasn't been like anything what I expected him to when he started playing as much as he did. Maybe the workload, it'll wear on you. But again, I just wanted to mention Corey Julks out. We'll see, what other moves at some point the Astros might make to improve this baseball game. I do know this: tomorrow they'll look to improve their record again. They'll look to improve their winning streak to 5 games. This is their first 4-game winning streak on the season, and they'll do it tomorrow night at 7:10 again with Christian Javier on the mound, looking to bounce back from that brutal start the other night in Detroit, his first start back from the injured list. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Come back tomorrow night. Tell your mom, tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your grandma, tell whoever is in you. Just go up to 10 strangers. Tell them to go like the page. Tell them to go watch the show tomorrow night. Let's break the internet tomorrow night when the Astros sweep the A's. I want to have the most people we've ever had watching an Astros post-game show on the internet ever. So help me make that happen tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll talk to you guys then right here on the Locked On Sports Houston page.